They caught a op not looking shit, now we gotta step down. Look at that. Half these niggas broke, they can't.
I want you to pass it at some point.
Want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out, because I don't want to crash out.
There was a bitch, her name was Cindy and Mindy. I wasn't sure, cause I was too tipsy off the Remy, playing big in the bank. Me cream, my dick was a buck, my mouth was the ATM machine. Had the sparkle low in my ear. Nibble on the little nipples and blowing on the toes.
Camron, leaving Sirius XM, just finished that explosive Max B interview, and the streets of New York are buzzing again. Max B's release hit different this time. The city's pulse shifted and everyone could feel it, except Jim Jones, who's out here pretending not to see the flood rising around him. The moment Max walked out those prison gates, Harlem lit up. But Jim, he couldn't even hide the salt dripping off him. He jumped online calling the celebration dumb and trying to clown Max as a failure, which is crazy because didn't Jim throw a whole parade when Mel came home? That energy switch was loud and messy and people are side-eyeing hard. Then it got even wilder. During his sit-down with Camron and Mace, Cam flat out said Jim is still scared of Max Bios after all these years. That one statement sent shockwaves through Harlem.
And these niggas go back like 40 years. When you hear that you definitely didn't come home, what's the energy? Because I'm going to keep it 100. Yo, Kill, I got to talk to the governor in Jersey.
Yeah,
Yo, once I speak to the mayor and these brothers we got coming up.
It was, like I said, you just got to switch the mindset.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No.
Now everyone's wondering what's really going on behind the scenes, why Jimmy's reacting this way, and why Max B's freedom got him so shook. See, Max B, Max Bigavelli, wasn't just another dude in the crew. The deeper you dig, the clearer it gets. He helped build an entire era of New York rap, but never got the credit he earned. Born Charlie Wingate, Harlem raised him tough, and by the early 2000s, he was a key player in Jim Jones's Bird Gang squad. But here's the real twist. Max wasn't just rapping, he was innovating. That sing-rap flow, that smooth, wavy melody, nobody was touching it back then. He had that vibe years before A$AP Rocky or anyone else brought it to the mainstream.
Now let his kids go. Where's daughter?
Let's see him, nigga.
Hold up.
Even his haters had to admit, Max brought a whole new flavor to the city, and New York never sounded the same again. Max was on a roll, dropping tapes like his life depended on it, $1 Million Baby, the Public Domain series, Coke Wave with French Montana. Every single one hit the streets like a storm. Those weren't just mixtapes, they were movements. DJs, hustlers, and upcoming rappers all had them on repeat. Even without a label machine behind him, Max had the city in his grip. His flow, his melodies, his slang, everything about him screamed originality. He was the kind of artist other rappers secretly studied, trying to catch even a bit of that wavy energy. But just when he was finally breaking through, everything flipped upside down.
Like, for instance, I'm gonna keep it tall. That's kind of how I missed out on Max B. I'm just being straight up honest. And Jim ended up signing him because Jim seen the vision, because Jim had an outside vision of Max. I grew up with Max. Charlie Rambo, play all day, joking all the time. So when he came to me and said he's gonna start rapping, I was like, yo, Charlie, stop playing. His exact words was killing him. Like, no, let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
Max B, he wasn't Max B, his name was Charlie Rambo. He get out of jail, he come up to me. Just word for word. So I'm like, Charlie, what up? When you guys say, yo, Flea, I just came home. I said, y'all say you always just come. He said, yo, Flea, you know how to rap now. Let's get this clicking like Dorothy's heels.
2006 was supposed to be Max's takeover year, the moment Harlem crowned another legend. But one decision, one wild night, changed everything forever. It all started with his ex-girlfriend, Gina Conway. She told Max about this flashy guy she'd met, Alan J. Plowden, someone who couldn't stop showing off stacks of cash like he was untouchable. Instead of ignoring it and staying focused on music, Max decided to make what he thought would be a quick come-up. He sent his stepbrother, Kelvin Lead, to handle it, with Gina tagging along for the ride. They pulled up to the Holiday Inn in Fort Lee, ready to make their move. The plan sounded simple. walk in, grab the bag, walk out. But nothing about that night went according to plan. Gina knocked on the door, and another woman, Giselle Neve, answered. She said Plowden was asleep, but before she could react, Kelvin pulled the gun. He held her at gunpoint while Gina tied her up with duct tape, and instantly the whole room turned into chaos.
From a few things that I'm saying, but you don't know the slander, like when you got locked up, you don't know the slander that I get. Cam, how the you let it go this way? From the same, like, what the how to go, da-da-da-da. I'm like, yo, I ain't see the, yo, I ain't see this nigga be playing niggas nigga in and out of jail all the time, man. I ain't see this shit was gonna happen. Niggas be ready to take my head off about this shit.
Yeah, cause you ain't a prophet.
Yeah.
They want you to be about prophet.
Yeah, listen, man. And I listen, I'm first tell you, I missed out and I didn't see it because you was too much of my nigga and I didn't see the vision. And sometimes what it is, not even talking about you, because you turned out to be something else.
You still got me in though.
Oh no,
You did everything in your. You was like, look, go see, bro.
Yeah, but listen, we boomerang. We here now. We ain't even gonna get into.
I'm just saying, like that's how.
Right.
Even you acknowledge, like, still, like, damn, I got Jaja, I got this, I got Rel, I got, you know what I'm saying? You said, nah, boom.
They started tearing the place apart, flipping furniture, tossing drawers, ripping through bags, looking for that rumored pile of cash. But the money was nowhere to be found. The tension was heavy, and Max wasn't even there to calm things down. Desperation kicked in, so they woke Plowden up, taped him to, and started demanding answers. He kept insisting there was no money in the room, but Kelvin wasn't buying it. That's when things spiraled completely out of control. Kelvin forced Plowden to call his business partner, David Taylor, and tell him to bring the money over. When Taylor arrived, he immediately realized something was off. He tried to fight back, and that's when everything went wrong. A struggle broke out, the gun went off, and Taylor was fatally shot right there in the room. Panic took over. Gina snatched Giselle's purse, grabbed the $800 from Taylor's pockets, and Kelvin ripped the watch from his wrist. What started as a quick hustle turned into a tragedy that would haunt everyone involved and destroy Max B's rising career in one chaotic night. All that chaos, all that pain, just for gas money and a couple of accessories. It's almost hard to believe how small the payoff was for something that cost them their entire futures. The whole thing turned from a quick score into a total tragedy. After the robbery, they dipped out, but karma was already waiting at the door.
Max B coming home. Where we at with that? Are you able to get past that?
No. Now we get past now. We can get past that now. You want to get past it? Or you want to dive more into it? Or you want me to tweak it?
I want you to pass it at some point.
You want me to crash out?
I definitely don't want you to crash out because I don't want to crash out. Now, what I want for myself, I want for my brother.
I appreciate it.
You see what I'm saying? Because there's too much money out here, there's too much life out here, and I like to do the things that I like to do. Ain't nothing feel better than living right now.
You're right.
Plowden called the hotel staff, panicked, and when police rushed the scene, they found him trying to stash away his own hidden cash, over $30,000 stuffed in the room. He got caught red-handed fumbling with the money like he could hide the truth from everyone. In the end, he ended up getting hit with his own charges, caught in the same mess he helped create. A few days later, Gina got picked up, and the second she was in that interrogation room, she spilled everything. She told detectives the whole story, Max's role, Kelvin's role, the plan, every tiny detail. There was no holding back, and it didn't take long before Max and Kelvin were both arrested and hit with heavy charges. Max's bail was set at a staggering $2 million, a number that basically screamed, "You're not going anywhere." By 2009, the case went from street rumor to courtroom drama. Gina took a plea deal for manslaughter and armed robbery, agreeing to testify in exchange for a lighter sentence. She was facing up to 18 years, but her testimony became the key piece that sealed everyone else's fate.
I would never work for that cornball ass again. Me? I'm a boss. I'm not with that. It's never nothing no more. Like, I look like a boss, I feel like a boss, I taste like a boss. Max Bigger Val. Get out of here, man. So Jim Jones. Compare the names. Look, Max Bigger Val. Jim Jones. God, don't even add up. They're not on my level, man.
Fast forward to May 2009, the trial began, and Harlem was watching. A month later, on June 9, 2009, the verdict came down like a hammer. Both Max and Kelvin were convicted on 9 out of 11 charges, including felony murder. Max was slammed with a 75-year sentence, while Kelvin got life plus 35 years. The next day, Gina herself was sentenced to 15 years, closing one of the darkest chapters in Harlem rap history. But Max wasn't giving up that easy. He fought the conviction for years, filing appeal after appeal, trying to prove his case was mishandled. Finally, in 2016, everything flipped again. It came out that Max's original lawyer had a serious conflict of interest, something that completely changed the game. His conviction was tossed out, and after he pled guilty to aggravated manslaughter, his sentence was cut down to 20 years, a second chance that nobody saw coming.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, Max B really inspired my whole rapping career too. I feel like, not rapping career, but you see the way I'm making melodies.
Yeah.
He was a big part of that, because before I started rapping, I was singing Max B all the time.
Jump to November, and Max B finally walked free after nearly 16 years behind bars. Family and friends were there waiting, including his day one collaborator, French Montana. French pulled up, filmed the moment Max stepped out those prison gates, and posted the video with the caption, "Can't make this up. My brother really came home on my birthday. No more free you." The internet exploded instantly. Harlem, hip-hop, everybody was talking. And that's when the tension reignited. Max B's freedom had the streets buzzing, but Jim Jones, his reaction told a whole different story. Now it was time to get into the messy part, the decades-long tension between Max B and Jim Jones. When Max first linked up with Bird Gang and Dipset, he wasn't just hanging around trying to get on, he was putting in real work. Max was writing hooks, helping craft verses, and shaping that Harlem sound that had the whole East Coast buzzing. People in the game still whisper that he had a hand in some of Jim Jones's biggest records. Even the mega hit, We Fly High. Yeah, the same record that turned ballin' into a global catchphrase. But here's where everything went left. According to Max, he never got the credit or the money he earned. He claimed he was out here being used, creating the flavor, laying the foundation, while Jim was stacking the checks. Imagine putting your soul into a track and walking away with a few $100 while someone else cashes out big. Max said he was performing at shows where Jim was pulling serious money, but he was barely getting gas fare. That kind of disrespect cuts deep. But this wasn't just about paper, it was about respect. Max said Jim never saw him as an equal, even though he carried a major part of the creative load. He was the melody, the vibe, the style that made the records hit. But behind the scenes, he was treated like an assistant instead of a partner. Over time, that energy built up until Max finally said, enough was enough. So he walked away from Bird Gang for good. And once he linked up with French Montana, it was on. They started dropping music that directly fired back at Jim, letting fans know exactly who built those hits. They didn't sugarcoat anything. When the message was loud and clear, the streets started connecting the dots, realizing that Max was behind a lot more than he was ever credited for. Meanwhile, Jim tried to play it cool in interviews, saying he never blocked Max's bag and was just following what he learned from his own mentors. But there's one thing Jim didn't talk about, is nights he never gave Max his publishing back on his own. Max had to take him to court, and only after legal pressure did Jim finally hand it over. That move spoke volumes about what was really happening behind the scenes. Even Camron stepped in on this one. He stood by Max and made it clear that this wasn't the first time Jim tried to control people or take credit for something he didn't fully create. Cam called it exactly what it was, and a pattern. And once he said that, the streets knew Max B wasn't just talking, he was proving it. Camron actually had plans to sign Max before Bird Gang ever existed, but he later admitted he didn't recognize Max's vision early enough. If he had, the entire Harlem rap story might have played out differently. By the time Cam realized what Max brought to the table, Jim had already scooped him up, and that move changed everything. Even after all the betrayal, bad deals, and tension, Max and Cam kept it solid. There was always mutual respect between them. That Harlem bond ran deep. So when Max finally touched freedom, he didn't waste time linking back up with Cam and Mace for a sit-down. But here's the wild part. During that whole interview, They never mentioned Jim once, not a single word. They kept it grown, focused on Harlem memories, Max's time behind bars, and the new chapter he's building. That silence spoke volumes, but while Max was moving with peace and focus, Jim Jones was out here doing the complete opposite. Instead of celebrating a man who came home after almost 16 years, Jim went online throwing shade like it was still 2009. He called the celebration pointless, tried to clown Max's comeback, and acted like Max wasn't one of the main architects behind Dipset's entire sound. That move exposed everything without him even realizing it. Because let's be honest, you've reached Max being free brings back all the conversations Jim's been dodging for years. Who really wrote what? Who crafted those hooks? Who built the wave that made Harlem sound different from everybody else? The moment Max stepped back into the spotlight, those old ghosts came walking right back with him. And Jim knows it. That's why his energy's been off since the moment Max got out. Meanwhile, Max wasn't even feeding into it. When he sat with Cam and Mace, he didn't throw dirt, didn't drop subs, didn't even hint at beef. He just talked about growth, family, and building a future beyond the streets. That silence hit harder than any diss track ever could because it showed who really matured and who's still stuck in the past. Fans picked up on it quick. Old clips started resurfacing. Interviews, song credits, behind-the-scenes footage, and the internet lit up all over again. People started realizing just how much Max had shaped the sound that Jim built his image on. That's when the unease really kicked in, because a free Max B means the truth isn't buried anymore. Those old conversations are back, louder than ever, and this time, Jim can't talk his way around them. This time around, Max is moving with peace and purpose, leveling up, rebuilding his life, and staying focused on what's next. You can feel the growth in every word he says. Meanwhile, Jim looks trapped in the same old cycle, still reacting like it's the mid-2000s. But then Camron dropped that line, the one that sent the whole internet spinning. He said straight up, without a hint of humor, that Jim Jones is still scared of Max B after all these years. The moment those words left his mouth, social media exploded. Clips started flooding timelines, fans digging up old interviews where Jim dodged questions about Max or brushed off his name like it was a sore spot. You could see it clear as day. Max's name still hits a nerve. Cam didn't even need to break it down. The history already told the story. Back in the day when Max started blowing up and earning real attention, Jim wasn't ready for someone from his own circle to outshine him, and that insecurity has been echoing ever since. Now that Max is finally free, that same old tension came crawling right back, except this time, the balance has shifted. Max isn't the same wild Harlem kid he once was. He's calmer, sharper, and more disciplined than ever. You can hear it in his tone, confident, grounded, and unbothered, and that quiet confidence. It's what makes Jim look even more uneasy. Jim keeps trying to play it cool online, pretending he's above it all, but fans aren't buying it. Every post, every comment, every little shade he throws, it all feels defensive, like he's trying to protect a spot he doesn't even believe he holds anymore. That shaky energy says more than words ever could, because the truth is, Max being home forces people to confront everything that's been left unsaid for years. Who really created the sound? Who put in the work? Who got held back so someone else could shine? And when someone like Camron, in who saw it all firsthand, says that Jim's been nervous around Max's name for years, that hits different. It's not just gossip anymore, it's validation. What makes it even more powerful is that Max isn't even fueling the drama. He's not online throwing subs or trying to get revenge. His presence alone is enough to shake the whole room. Meanwhile, Jim still looks like he's carrying something heavy, still haunted by that old rivalry. And when Mace asked him in a recent interview if he could finally let the past go, you could feel the tension before he even answered. When Mace hit Jim with the question, "Can you finally let the past go?" Jim didn't dodge, didn't hesitate. He just said no, straight up. No explanation, no soft tone, just that one word. And you could see the tension hit instantly. His whole expression changed, like someone just opened a wound he thought was closed. The internet went crazy after that moment. Comment sections lit up with fans saying things like, "Jim still got PTSD from when Max was running around World Star clowning him nonstop." Others even brought up the old hotel incident again, saying, "The internet never forgets." And Jim's still haunted by it. People were dissecting every facial reaction, every pause, every word, because that silence said more than any interview ever could. But not everyone came for Jim. Some fans saw the pain behind his response. One comment that blew up said, "Jim only said that because Max B isn't standing in front of him. If they ever meet face to face, there's no way they couldn't heal and move forward like brothers. The love's still there. Jim's hurt by Max, hurt by Cam. But he's got to realize he hurt them too. That's why he reacted that way. I think they can move forward." That one comment sparked a whole war in the replies. Some people agreed, saying there's too much history to stay stuck in the same loop, that both of them grew and real Harlem legends could squash the past if they wanted to. Others said the damage runs way too deep. Too many years, too many words, too much betrayal. The debate went all night, proving one thing. People still care about this story more than ever, so what do you think? Could Jim Jones and Max B ever really make peace? Or has time made that impossible? Could Harlem see a reunion between two men who once helped define an entire sound? This situation runs deep, way deeper than most fans even realize. Before you dip, make sure you subscribe to Hot Tea Daily. Hit that like button and drop a comment letting us know your take. Don't forget to share this video if you rocked with it, and if you really vibed with the story, hit that hype button to help the channel grow big time. Thanks for watching, Sud, and see you on the next video. Great.